Yes.
Ready when you are.
Thank you. Just like to welcome everyone today to the AGM. And I think it's, as things just said, AGM scared people away. But just before we start, I've just got to say we are on Zoom. Is there anybody that has any problems being on Zoom? Not everyone fine? Okay. So can I welcome any new residents or attendees or people who have not been here for a while? Can they just introduce themselves? Again, can you just introduce yourself?
I'm Joyce Morrison.
And I'm here, love it, John Morrison.
You know, this is going out.
Well, it could entice people.
This is D-Ray.
No, Brad, you'll hear a lot more from Brad later. Oh, but Brad, can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Brad, I'm the neighbour.
And you've lived in Forestdale for all of
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Which is just the financial year.
Yes,
Financial year.
that's correct. Okay. Everyone should have a copy of the minutes. That's this somewhere around on the chairs. If anybody who was here at that meeting can look at the minutes, can I have them passed and seconded, please? Connor. And Joe. Okay, now I'll start off with the Treasurer's report. There's not a lot been going on with the Treasurer's report. The opening balance was $5,290.75. Now, the money came into the stall fees. As you might know, if you've been looking on Facebook, we're having a big Christmas in the park in December. And we have had stalls booking in, but this time we're asking them to pay up front because we have quite a few stalls that didn't turn up at the last. We've turned people away, and then people who had booked the stalls didn't turn up. So they're actually paying in advance, and they pay it straight into the bank. So at the moment, we've had 18 stall fees that have come in at $15 each, making it $270. And the money out is the accountant. There's $515 to do the end of the year financial report. So that leaves us a balance of $5,045.75. That at the moment is all that's happened. So can I ask someone to cast that and second it, please? The only post we've had in is the paperwork from the Office of Fair Trading, which after this meeting we have to fill out and send to them, telling them who the committee is. That is the only paperwork that has come in. The paperwork that has gone out as well is invitation to stallholders. So of course we've been having some stallholders coming in by emails. But besides anything else, there's been no more posts, I say. Nothing come in, nothing, quite quiet. Okay, well, that was quick. We're going to do a few things a little bit different. First of all, we have got Senior Constable Wallace here, who will give us our crime stats. We might not have the same person every month now. They have changed the way the police actually do it. You can explain how they do that. So we might see her a few times, or it could be someone different at every meeting. She'll give the crime report and then she has to go. Is that right? Yeah. And then we'll go to you, Sue. Have you got a report?
There's not a lot, but
A little bit.
and it's possible.
Okay, that's great.
I feel.
Yeah, and then we'll go to Tim. And then what we do is we ask if anyone's got any business that they want to discuss. You can ask questions to anyone who gets up. And then we'll close the meeting and we'll stand down. And then Tim will open the AGM part of it. He will tell you who the nominees are, etc., which will take 2 minutes. We have got refreshments outside. That might be the that might be the star of the night. Okay, so thank you. And yeah, that'll be fabulous if you can. Yeah, you took your shoes off. Someone told me to. So that's why when we packed.
Daniel wouldn't take interviews.
Oh, he was like, "Juice, okay."
As Lynn mentioned, my name is Constable Wallace. I have been in Logan my whole time serving since 2009 when I joined. So mainly based out of Logan Central Woodridge, and in recent years, 2019 onwards, I went into the crime prevention unit. Now, as mentioned, policing as a whole is actually changing across the whole state. Logan is the second district now to take on a bit of a reform as to how we're delivering it. We're only into about week 6 or 8, not sure which one. But basically, there's a lot of change happening for our front line, but it's really designed to try and get more police out there to the jobs a lot quicker, and hopefully also clear up the files a lot quicker as well. That's the end goal of it. The downside of it is that no portfolios are really being held at each of your local stations now. So neighbourhood watch is what we consider a portfolio. We would normally manage it in district crime prevention, but you'd normally also have a station liaison that came to your meetings and spoke to you. They don't have anything like that now. It all falls back to us. The other side that also comes our way is also pretty much all your events, anything community based. Our unit mixed with the cross-cultural unit that we've got, and even our school base, they kind of come under this big hub of prevention, and we're going to endeavour to try and service the district with anything that comes in. So event-wise, you mentioned Christmas video. On the My Police Logan page, there are now tabs down the side, and you can actually request for us, crime prevention, or school-based, or CCLU. So for that sort of big event, I would be requesting at least us and CCLU.
Right. Can you narrow that down?
Yeah, and just follow the bouncing ball, and then that comes to us, and we sort of triage it, make sure that we're not over-servicing, but we're also trying to get to as many things as we can.
We had a big event in March, the car show, and we had a good turnout for the place.
Excellent.
Really good turnout. We had the big bus there and everything.
What does CCLU stand for?
So it's our cross-cultural liaison unit. They're actually quite a large unit, so they've got about 3 or 4 full-time officers, and then they've got what we call police liaison officers who aren't fully fledged. They don't have kits, they don't have powers per se, and they're generally members of different cultural backgrounds, whether anything from New Zealanders, Asians, Aboriginals, Torres Strait Islanders, everything. And they're meant to make up about 14. Our unit only has about 4 of us all up. At the moment, there's 1. And I've got a sidekick that's office bound at the moment. So, but yeah, we're all growing and learning, but we'll be the main sort of faces, I guess you'll see. We will try and get frontline. So if we're having a big event like we had Bowie Show recently as well, we try and tag on extra resources from the district. So it just depends what they can do and how they can move, but hopefully it's going to deliver, give us 6 months to a year to really settle down the dust and get it running smoothly. And yeah, you should notice a real change.
So how much notice should I give? We want you at our next meeting.
The more the merrier, notice wise. In terms of meetings, you probably won't see us too often, or if you do have an online option for us, that will work better for us as a unit in terms of being able to come. Yeah, so that's that kind of organisational thing, but we basically, if there's anything, the more notice the better.
Right.
Diving into your stats, you've got quite a nice area here, so it's no Woodridge, that's for sure. So besides all the fuel steals that happen, I think it's maybe that way, there's a fuel station that must be on the map when I overlaid them. The main crime that you guys are being faced with is stealing from motor vehicles. So that's your tools being taken in your car, or your car doors being unlocked and taking things out, and even your number plates. So as you know, we do still run our anti-theft screws that are free. Again, you can jump online and order them online, and we send you out the packs to install. So that's about it, really.
We can have some mentors right now.
Yeah.
We're also moving out at the Christmas event.
Yep. And if you ever want to say a lot of people are really keen for it, and you want someone to install them for you, let us know, and we'll organise that as well with our volunteers and you guys as well.
Would you have any tips to cut down on crime? People coming into your yard? obviously keep your car locked, but apart from your car, do you have any other tips?
Look, my favourite is get a dog. People hate dogs, and it's not just because you don't know their temperament. To be honest, the only ones that have ever bit me are the little ones, but but I'm saying that it produces noise. So anything that gives noise, it then gives attention, and that puts them on a time limit. So they're less likely to spend time. We've also found that, you know, our criminals are getting more lazy, just like society. And if they see your house with cameras, even if they're not, they don't know if they're real or fake, and you've made an effort to put good lighting on, you know your neighbours. That's always a good one. Like nosy neighbours suck, but at the same time they can be so good. So get to know your neighbours. That would be my best tips with all of that. And please, for the love of God, don't hang your keys on the hooks. Put them in a cupboard and hang them neatly. Put them out of sight, because most of our offenders, they're just walking into an unlocked door, they're taking the keys, and that's how you'll see that they're driving these nice hot cars.
These are the things that, you know, about we were talking before about those actual screws, you know, going in the back of the plates. Have people got to have a special screwdriver for that?
Not to put them on, but to take them off, you need to come to a police station, or I think it might be Repco, but you can't actually buy them. They don't sell the removal tool to the public.
Yeah, but you know, I hate asking this, but couldn't a wise, savvy thief be able to make one?
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
But
like
again, we're talking about a lot of offenders who just stuff.
Okay.
You'll be like, we don't catch them because we're super geniuses. We catch them because they're lazy.
Dumbasses.
So yeah, like at the end of the day, yeah. As much as I like to think we're amazing, no, the fact is they're lazy, and it's just that, you know, they will shy away from it if that takes too much work. They're not going to sit outside your house and stalk you for a week before they go in. That's just not their thing. So yeah, but yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Can you explain it why, like with dance, I put a last week Thursday, a week before now, about suspicious vehicles, right? And I put a radio number on it, right? The driver was an Islander, which I did put down, right? Also, somebody commented that the vehicle, the plate doesn't match the vehicle. Because someone had a radio check on it.
Yeah.
But with dance, you know, he replied and he said, do not put radio number on that.
On
Why?
Facebook.
That was just Viv's a volunteer police, and he does all the shows.
I know
You know, you know,
Everyone knows it.
that was his opinion. That wasn't, that was his opinion. That's all. It wasn't from anywhere else. That was just his opinion. That's all that was. That's all
Yeah,
that.
I think with things like that, it's also perspective. Like, as you see on Facebook, some people might post something and they write this epic blog, but whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Viv was trying to get on, that it might have been an innocent car, and he didn't want anything for if it was an innocent car. That's what he was trying to. That's what he was trying to
Well,
get
if it's
at.
a neighbor, somebody not
Yeah.
saying enough, he's gonna say,
Yeah.
right, we know those people.
Yeah,
But
but
when
that,
somebody put a radio does not match the
yeah,
car.
he's just Viv's just a volunteer.
Yeah, yeah, I
Well,
know.
not just, he is a main
Yeah.
volunteer.
But
that
also,
was
I
just
read
an opinion.
Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
Talked to her and told her what's going on. She says, go online and fill it up. What's the point? By the time somebody comes through that.
Yeah,
that long
So the big point of this is that the more you report, the more we know. And if we don't know about it, we can't use resources. So yeah, you're right, we might not get out there. It is just, to us, it's tuning. It's not murdering, it's not being killed. But in saying that, if we want to do any sort of action plans and actually dedicate police resources to something, we need all of those files. We need those people pulling them in to say and justify the fact that we've now pushed 10 coppers out on Friday, Saturday to do patrols in that area. But if you're not telling us every single incident, there's no way we can justify sending those resources. So help us, because we want to put the resources where they're needed. But if you don't tell us, we also don't have a magic ball. So yeah,
I've had 8 of them
yes.
in a car park in
Mhm.
Grand Plaza. Right? And somebody scratched my car because I parked in a zone with the kids.
Mhm.
I had my 2-year-old grandson with me. Right? So I'm allowed to park there, am I?
I'm not going to comment on.
Well, when I was that age, I parked a normal car park, struggled with the van and kids out. I didn't whinge about it. So, and today I got too many snowflakes.
Yeah, lots of them, and then you know the shops sort of run those car
Yeah,
parks as
no,
well.
yeah,
so-
okay. So, anyway, I reported it.
Yep.
Online, fill it up, and they gave me the number, gave it, they told me to give it to Police Beach in Grand Plaza, which I did, 11 weeks, not a word. I came across the officer.
Mhm.
Every time I was there, see if they're there, he says they're not there, that's patrolling. I seen the same officer, I said, I'll let you know tomorrow. That was 2 years ago, I still haven't heard nothing.
So now they've got a really cool thing online where you can actually type in your QP that they give you and request an update, because that was a feedback that we were getting from the public as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That due to the fact that officers are, especially in Logan, I know we would attend, just one of us, like our crew would attend up to 20 jobs in our shift.
Mhm.
That's a lot of jobs.
Oh, yeah.
So to try and keep track of that, let alone investigate every single one of those and do everything else, we understood that there was that lack of communication with the public that you're actually wanting, and I
Yeah,
understand
but
you
the
want
thing
that.
is, it was annoying. He remembered after 11 weeks, right? And then he told me he's gonna let me know tomorrow.
Yeah. Mate, there's good ones, there's bad ones, there's shocking, there's great,
Some of them
like,
do
it's in
that-
every
some of them
job,
still
so,
don't have uniform, but they must take it.
if that's a bad problem, then I mean, that's not too bad, I think you're doing a good day. So,
Okay, anybody else want to ask?
How are you going on the hooning? We're getting around to it. It's a lot of it. Squealing and like souped up cars with that.
yeah, kids love their cars, don't they? They're money pits, really, aren't they? I know that, we worked quite extensively with the council on the hooting task force, I don't know if you're part of that, yep. I don't know the top end of that and what actually happened with it, but they improved the services that were
Yeah,
delivered.
we put money in to help out the online reporting and stuff like that, I think, so.
Yeah, so it's updated a lot, which also again allows us to allocate the resources where needed and appropriately.
Are those cameras working good, do you know, have we stopped her?
I think they're working, yeah.
Yeah, if they're up, they're
They're
great.
They are
Um,
working really well.
And we've got direct access now to a lot of what we call DTAC, and they're actually watching not just for the cars, but for offenders. And things like that, and they can contact our crews out on the road directly as well, which is amazing. So, yeah,
So
it's,
I've been a bit of a thinking about having traffic calming things, especially in some of the roads. I'm in Sheriff Street. And they think they're at running racetrack. They come down at such a speed, honestly.
Yeah.
How cold is that?
yeah,
And I think, oh, they just have those little ones. You know, you can
I
get
think
them, they look
that's-
like mobile.
That's council.
Yeah.
I think that's his
Yeah.
department.
I'll see that when it's my turn.
That's council, yes.
Cheers for sharing the light.
Dear one.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, thank you so much.
No worries.
Anybody else?
Thank
No?
you. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you
If
very
you've
much.
got anything, just email me, any problems
Yeah.
even from any other meetings, you can flick it to our email address,
Yeah,
and we
we've
can
got that.
give you a call and help address it as well.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous.
What
Thank
about
you.
Well, thank you
for-
for having me.
Just last one quickly, what about the people who are say over 65 plus who haven't got laptops, who don't know the internet from the road?
Yeah.
What do people like that do?
Buy a
you
They
can
laptop.
just
still
gotta
call
hope
up.
they can ring.
Buy a laptop.
Yeah, I'd want you to ring, please link 131444, that's our main line.
1312.
Yeah, or Crime
Okay.
Stoppers anytime, so, and that's 24/7, so
That's fine.
obviously if it's emergency,
Of course. yeah.
Cool,
Okay,
cool.
Thanks.
Awesome,
Thank
thanks
you.
guys.
Thanks for that, thank you.
You go again.
You manage?
Thanks.
Yeah, what we have got, and we have to fill a form in for every single meeting now, not anyone else. And you will not just get the crime report for Forestdale, like we used to have, which is a shame, but that's why we have to fill a form in, send it in, and then we don't know who we're gonna get. And what they wanted to do, they wanted us to go online and just print out the crime statistics. And I said I didn't want that, I wanted someone to come and actually give the crime statistics
Good.
so that you could interact with them and ask questions. You can't do that online. But it's a shame, I thought it might be more for just Forestdale, which obviously it's not going to be like it used to be. And it is a shame, but
Yeah.
they can only spread the police out so far, and there's obviously a lot more needed. There's a lot more needed. elsewhere than, you know.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So Sue, you've got a little report for us?
I don't want the camera on me. Just briefly, we've just been advised last week that TMR are putting a group together to do further studies on Inland Rail going to Gladstone. We're told this will probably take about 18 months. So it's going to be dead quiet until then. Last month I told you that we had been writing to Catherine King, the new Minister for Infrastructure and Transport and everything. She's actually listening to what we've got to say and all our concerns and issues. And her office actually phoned us up and we're on the phone for over an hour telling him what all our concerns were. The first time that an office has actually taken interest in our concerns, and they're genuine. I also hear that they've been following up with other groups like the Farmers in Millmere, and they're talking with them as well to find out. So Miss King is a bonus to us. I'm feeling positive for the first time in 6 years.
So it's not falling on their fears anymore.
Yeah, she's actually listening, and whether it's because she's a female in the job,
Might be.
might be. She doesn't just talk, and yeah, she's actually listening to us. So I'm feeling good about things. So I believe, yeah, good will come with this now, and I'm hoping that we can stop it or send it to Gladstone.
Fantastic. Thanks for your hard work, Sue. Tim, it's all yours.
So can I, what I did, I had 3 copies of the park master plan. Could I have one, please, so I can talk to it? Thanks. Everything, I only just got it on Friday myself.
How did you get over that? You gave it to us. Thank you.
Oh, so before I forget, people over 65 can go to council libraries. There's one in Grand Plaza, I'm sure you know. I'm pretty sure the staff are very friendly. They're very helpful. They're able to show you what you can and can't do on a computer, I guess. So yeah, if you want, I think you have to book though too, and you can do it. Well, I've heard infinite times, but I wouldn't think that you could do it that many times. But yeah. But yeah, if you need any help with computers and that, the staff there are able to help you out. And you can book computers, and there's at least half a dozen there anyway. And you're best going during the day when kids aren't there as well. So.
Well, I don't personally need it, because you're looking at me as though I do need.
No, you ask the question, but you do it.
I don't need is what there are heaps of other people who do need.
Yeah, so it's good. So a couple of issues before I talk about the park. So the wall that Wynn brought up with me, after the 3rd or 4th time, I think, on this one too, apparently a branch in council, so council's made up of numerous branches, as they call it, the managers in charge of, so that's a big work group. I'll say they actually admitted that it is council property, which is good.
Which is a step up in the
So
right
yeah,
direction.
so my advisor Victoria told me that, so she couldn't see or talk to anyone about what exactly they're doing, but they've at least
Can I
admitted to
interrupt
it.
you one moment? Because Joyce said, do you know, as you come into Forestdale
Oh,
Drive, on the right-hand side, where they put the witches' hats, we've been after trying to get that replaced and put back up. And the first, when Tim first investigated it, we was told it was on private property and not council land, at which we didn't. We couldn't, but that's what we can't, right? Yes, so Tim's been working at finding out very hard who is responsible for that wall. And that's what it's
Multiple
multiple
times. So yeah, now it's apparently someone's admitted to it being council, so it's good.
So they're
So
gonna
that's-
fix it.
Oh, they're doing something with it. I can't confirm or deny anything.
Well, they've got the witches'
They're
hats
doing
there,
something.
so that
It
means.
has to be council, it's between the
Yeah.
footpath and
Yeah.
the
And the
road.
road,
Mm.
that's
Who would
right,
own the piece of land in
Yeah.
but
between
they
that?
wouldn't admit it. So
Yeah,
the witches' hats are now there, so obviously somebody is going to do something, is that
Yeah.
right?
yeah, I would think so.
Yes, so watch that space.
Yeah. So yeah, see how that goes. The birds, we couldn't find out anything about those magpies that died, but yeah, Victoria said too that they may not ever find out, because if it's only a an isolated incident, which it is for now, then they probably won't
Yeah.
spend too much time with
There
it.
was a lot, I don't know how many birds, there were a lot
I
of
think
them.
someone reported around a dozen.
About
but-
a dozen birds.
Yeah, but yeah, a family of birds is 3 or 4-ish, so
Yeah.
it's only a few families, but yeah, who knows what it's from, whether they do autopsies, I can't confirm or deny that either, but yeah, we may not get answers for that. It is sad though. So to the park, so what happened is, yeah, they gave me 5 pages for some reason. So what they've done, they've made it a little bit less intense, I guess, than what it was. So it was, as it's shown on here, plus it had a bit more equipment, so like a big spider webby climbing thing, but the park doesn't have that at the moment. It's only got some things, and to keep it, keep the same sort of theme and feel, I guess, that it has now. If you start adding too much, it'll take up too much space. It may become way too much popular with outsiders too. I don't know. But
Which park is this in?
Lincoln
Lincoln
Green.
Green. But what, before Tim goes any further, so even though there's only 2 copies, on the second week in October, we're having the first week is a public holiday. We're having our next meeting in the park on the Sunday at 11 o'clock. Tim will have more copies and we can walk around the park and he can show you exactly what is being done to what area of the park. So you can't.
And
This
is
just
this is a
legal
draft
thing,
too.
Yes.
And I say this as a draft because if you look at point 8, it actually says proposed concrete slab location for container. I was told 3 or 4 times too that no, we can't do that. So unfortunately, yeah,
That is
that
so
should be
annoying.
erased.
That
Yeah,
is
when I saw that, I thought,
really,
looks
yeah.
like a container. Yes, it's there. So yeah, they told me
Did they
that
tell you why we couldn't have it?
because you'd actually have to have a lease on it and stuff like that, and you'd have to sign up for X amount of years to promise to look after it and be nice to that little
Why
area.
couldn't
And
they
that.
just give us one?
No. Yeah, that's not how they work, unfortunately. Remember, everything government has layer upon layer upon layer of red tape, and for a
You've got-
container, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it is unfortunate that's still in there, but yeah, this is only like I said, a drop. So so what they did too, so they've broken it into different stages as well, and who's providing what. So where it says stage 1 in point 1 and 2, proposed works for asset replacement. So that's stuff that's old. They just replace it without me having to use any of the funding that I've got available. So all the cool stuff is the stuff I'm paying for, unfortunately, which is expensive, but it is what it is, eh? So after quite a lot of feedback too, people were saying, oh yeah, that thing that's someone's got a question, do they?
Maybe.
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, later on anyway. Yeah,
Someone
that was pretty
just
clever.
joined up, so it's all.
Okay, oh good. Yeah. So yeah, someone wanted that train thing to remain. So in within this document, I think at the end it's got all the pictures of the stuff that we can do. So yeah, they're also doing a bit of a path as well, coming from, what is it, Sheriff? No, not Sheriff. So what's the one that's to this in Nottingham Port? Sorry. Yeah. So
Oh,
from
right,
there
they
into
can
the
do that
park
side.
there. So that's pretty cool. And then so a creek bed with bridges, so you know how it sort of floods towards the back end there, that'll get
Oh,
done a
yeah,
bit. So
yeah.
that's pretty cool. And
Mm.
and it's got all the sectional views, so it shows a side view of the slope of the land and stuff with the the equipment and whatnot that's there, which is cool. 2 sections, which I'm not sure why they did that, but that does sort of help people to understand how it looks if you understand those kind of drawings.
Yeah, just a quick question. You know how we put the cars down in the drain for the car shows?
Mhm.
Has any thought been given to a roadway, an actual road to get the cars down the bank easily? Because
There
quite
hasn't
often
been
it's wet,
actually, but
they
yeah.
have a lot of trouble getting back up.
Okay.
It took us ages getting that little ramp put back in, that they put in, when the water washed it away.
Some of those cars, they get it very low
Yeah,
in the ground,
and
Yeah,
that is
what
something that we
cars?
will be using it
and
again.
they spin very easy on wet grass.
So where are we?
So that'll be
Probably to the left, there, left of number 12 there.
12, yeah.
What's this pen not working?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I've got
Have you got that
30 of them
there?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll draw that in, alright,
That'll
so
be there.
driveway. I will probably say they'll say no, but I can ask though, because they don't like doing things permanently to allow for things that aren't used constantly, if that makes sense, because that'll be a further burden on, you know, ratepayers
Well,
to
that's
keep
gonna
on
be used,
fixing it up.
that's gonna be used constantly,
It'll be used
constantly,
a few times a year.
constantly, yes.
Well, yeah, the result, I mean, we could quite easily choose a bank up vehicle movement.
But it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's the only place Forestdale NHW Rochester use.
Mm.
And like, we're having 2 or 3 events a
Yeah.
year,
Mm.
and that area is gonna be used every single time.
Yeah. The thing is that, yeah, if they're there with doing concrete and that, they probably could do a pathway down.
You
but-
don't need it all the way down, just down where Stan was saying, just down, just
Yeah.
that section
Mm.
to get on, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but they did all the crusher dust and that.
Yeah.
Off the side there.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've written it down now, so I'll see how that goes. What else is there? So yeah, section views, and then there's the last page. Yeah, so it's got all the stuff there. So what things sort of look like,
What's
so that,
proposed new event, green temporary public tents?
yeah, so what they're saying is that you'll have the ability to have a circle as it's shown on the page before, isn't it? Is it the page before? Yeah, on that top one there.
All right,
So yeah, if you only wanted, say, 12 or 15, then you could have like a circle there. But otherwise, yeah, you can have it as you want, but yeah, it's sort of going to be terraced with a few blocks and stuff. You know, those sandstone blocks that they do 3 or 4 terraces or whatever, it'll be sort of like that as well.
yeah, because we're using where the cars were this
Mm.
time, because it's better, because
Mm,
it's so dangerous up there.
yeah,
We had to put barricade around it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get it fixed.
yeah. So that, if you look at the sectional view, that should be a bit flatter as well. So if you look at that page before the pictures of stuff, that one there, see how it's sort of flat.
Yeah,
So yeah,
That's
that's been
better.
made so that you can put some up the top too, anyway. Yeah, and then, yeah, these are sort of representations of what things may look like. So the treehouse system, that is quite a cool thing for kids actually. And the little train and that, it's, you know, those plastic ones that they make now, but it is what it is. And instead of sand, I've asked for that, you know, the bark sort of mulch stuff, like it's little bits like probably a centimetre square. So yeah, you don't get sand in your shoes and everywhere else, so that's just my preference anyway, but and it does cost a lot more.
Tricky to it, but when we were doing this for park activities, I personally got down there and raked the sand out. Use syringes or anything, the kids can't play. You can't do that.
Well, from what I've been told, my advisor Victoria said, you know, if you say it, it's probably going to happen, but never have we had a needle prick, never have we found a needle in sand at the moment.
And I never found it, I've done it several times,
Hmm.
but it ain't take once.
Yeah, and never say never, but
No, it's-
yeah. Yeah, but the thing is that mulch though too, you can see it a bit better than sand. Sand buries stuff, that mulch, you can sort of kick it around a bit and you can see it if it's on the surface, but
Can't they
Yeah.
put those spongy rubber things in?
Yeah, I think
that costs an absolute arm and a leg. But if you look at the little train there, it's showing it there, which, yeah, they keep telling me, no, we don't do that really, and yet
But if you,
they still
if
do
you
it
work
anyway.
out how
It
many
is
you
expensive.
I say that, Tim, I just think it's safer and it's more hygienic.
you can see.
Because
it's-
animals and things pee and poo in the sand, don't they? And they will in your mulch as well.
Yeah.
Because
that-
like, you know, they've not done anything to that park for years and years and years and
You
years.
need to, yeah.
So if they need to do it,
it's
you need to do it properly the first time,
Let me see.
you know,
Where am I?
if it's worth doing, it's worth doing properly.
Yeah. The thing is that you don't have a vandalism problem here
At the
usually.
moment, but we've got
although-
new families with little kids that are growing up,
Yeah.
Dave,
What are these
plans, are they up for discussion now, Tim, these plans?
Yeah, yeah,
When's
and-
it going to be instigated?
Sorry?
When's it going to be started the work?
Will you get, in other words, when we have this meeting in October, we can all put our input in, which if you can get people to come, if they want input on the park, they've got to turn up. You know what I mean? It's no good half a dozen of us and then people afterwards whinging, well, we didn't want this or we didn't want that. They wasn't there to say. We had the same trouble with the cameras. We had special meetings in the park and everything to try and get the cameras discussed, and they didn't turn up. We eventually had to say, that's it, we're not answering any more questions, wasn't it? Because Tim got the right people in and they didn't turn up yet. They whinge about it. So if you can get your neighbours, talk to people you know, and get them to come to this meeting to say what they want. When we go to the park and you give us this, we then put our input in, is that correct?
Yeah, you can tell me.
And then that will go back. Will they listen to you with our
Yeah.
input?
Yeah, the thing is though, with the rubber, they're gonna say, well, you need to fund it. I'll go, well, looks like I have to then.
Well, why
Yeah,
can't they
so-
fund it?
Because it's, most park upgrades are done through the local infrastructure program funding, which is the funding that I've got. The asset replacement is what's there now. So in 25 years, when it all gets redone again, then they'll have to renew it the same as what it is. But for now, because it is improving, I've got to fund it, which is fine.
Because I'm looking at the play equipment here for the kids.
Mhm.
You need to cut that down by half. And then if you cut that one down by half, you'll have enough money to give us the proper flooring.
I can do that anyway, probably. I'll ask them what the cost is, but
We need
Yeah.
that proper flooring.
yeah. So what I was saying, so yeah, the rubber flooring, it damages easy though, so you don't have a vandalism problem, but if I was to say install it in one of the back parks in Baronia or something, unfortunately, I would expect it to be either cut, burnt, or something like that. So it is very
It's
fragile, I
hard.
will say.
Yeah.
And in Beanley, that park on the river, that actually has a lot of that too. But when it floods, the water washes it all away, and it's weird. Apparently, it's like cement. You just put it down, and you just lay it, and then it dries, and it's that spongy sort of rubber stuff. But yeah, it is. They say that there's pros and cons against and for it, but
Is that made from recycled rubber? You know, the tires you get and all that. So there's a thing, and we break it all down and make it into whatever. And we can do things to it, Tim, that makes it into things.
I'd say that the top is shredded tires, because it sort of looks like it's like that, like some old playgrounds were, but the bottom is like a, you know how you can get like a spray, you can spray, then it'll expand and it's sort of a bit rubbery. It's probably something like that. So yeah, so yeah, but they say that is very expensive, but yeah,